Say hello. Say my name is Kaya. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a pregnancy question and answer. I asked you guys to send me some questions on Instagram, so I'm just going to be going through my phone and answering some of the questions. I get a lot of different DMs about IVF and pregnancy questions, so I figured that since I'm on bed rest, I don't have anything else to do, so I would go ahead and film that for you guys. So if you'd like to learn more about my pregnancy, then please keep watching. So the first question, The first question is, have you had any weird cravings? What do you crave the most? And this was actually asked at least a few times. People wanted to know what I was craving. So I haven't had any weird pregnancy cravings. I know that most people do, but I was kind of surprised my whole pregnancy. I never got weird cravings, you know, like pickles and peanut butter on bread and stuff like that, just weird stuff that I've heard of. I have not had any cravings like that whatsoever.
Pickle wrapped in a piece of cheese.
Yeah, so one day, which I didn't eat it, but I did tell Costa that I was craving dill pickles wrapped in Swiss cheese or something. I don't know, which I guess that's weird, but I never ended up actually eating that because whenever I was craving that in like the first or second trimester, I'd been sick the whole time. So by the time that he would bring the food back, or 10-15 minutes later, I wouldn't want it anymore. So yeah, never actually ate that. But the weirdest craving that I've had so far would be Dr. Pepper. So I've talked about this a few times on my Instagram. I don't drink sodas at all. And I haven't for a long time, but during my pregnancy, I have had Dr. Pepper a few times. Super ice cold Dr. Pepper. I don't know what it is, but I crave it and the baby loves it. I know that it's probably horrible for you, but that's my weird craving, I guess you could say. And other than that, he loves tacos. I know that I say he because he really is picky and he does like some stuff and some stuff he does not like. So tacos, I can eat them for lunch, dinner, day after day. We eat tacos and Mexican food like all the time. Are you gonna get an epidural? That is a good question. So I did want to have a natural birth and do no epidural, but I've had a very rough pregnancy. If you've been following along with me, you know that my pregnancy has not really gone as expected. And I'm just kind of to the point where, especially being on bed rest, it's just so like draining and uncomfortable, I guess you could say. So I kind of just want to be like comfortable while I'm giving birth. And I know that with an epidural, it takes the pain away and it's kind of like, easier obviously than dealing with all the pain. So my plan is to kind of just see how it goes. I would like to wait as long as possible and not get the epidural, but I do plan on getting it at some point. So we will see. I do have a high pain tolerance, but I know that childbirth is nothing compared to anything I've endured before, so we will see. The plan as of now is wait as long as possible, but yes, get one. But who knows? We'll see. What will you miss most about being pregnant once baby boy is here? I think the most, I think probably it will be my tummy. I love my baby bump. I wish that I could have, him in my tummy at all times and be pregnant forever. I know not everyone's like that, and that's just how I feel. I don't know. The whole pregnancy, I've just told Costa that, I love my body, I love my baby bump, and feeling him in here, just knowing that he's growing and getting big. Even though I have gained weight, obviously you can like tell in my face, and like just with any pregnant person, you do look different. and some women, you know, take that hard, and it is something hard to deal with, you know, but for me personally, I love my body and I love the way that it looks, and I love being pregnant, so I think I'll miss him actually being in my tummy whenever he's here. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you playing your video game?
Yep.
Okay, next question. Gotta stay hydrated. Okay. Do I miss anything? I would say the only thing I miss before I got pregnant is getting my nails done. I haven't had my nails done or painted since October or November of 2018, and that's because I usually get long acrylic nails or long, like the dip, the next gen, and it's super bad for your nails, especially if you're pregnant, all of those chemicals. I don't like to do anything, I guess, chemical related, like even deodorant and shampoo and face wash. Like, I've Googled everything that I use and made sure that it's all natural and it's not going to harm the baby. So I do still get my toes painted. I have had a few pedicures since I've been pregnant, but I do miss getting my nails done and having my long nails. But I know that once he gets here, probably not gonna have long nails anyways, just because, you know, I don't want to like scratch him or hurt him whenever I'm trying to hold him or change him. So, yeah. What's baby P's name going to be?
It's a surprise.
Yeah, so we're not going to tell you the name. It's a big surprise. I will tell you that it is a Greek name. All of our kids are going to have Greek names. It's just something that I love, and Costa's traditions and growing up, I want to keep all of that kind of flowing in our family. And does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so all of our kids will have Greek names. He does have a very, very big name for a little boy. His first, middle, and last name is going to be Greek, and if we ever have a girl or another boy, all of our kids will have Greek names. What's your favorite part of pregnancy? Probably, I don't know, what's my favorite? My favorite part of pregnancy would be feeling him move around and kick and just knowing that he's in there. It's literally the weirdest, coolest feeling ever in the world, just kind of like wondering what he's doing in there and just wondering how big he is and how long his legs are and his arms, and just feeling him move around, knowing that you're carrying this baby. It's crazy what the body can do. So that would be one thing. And then probably just knowing that I'm going to be a mother and hearing his heartbeat for the first time. That was pretty cool. But for me, I've always wanted to be a mom, so, you know, this is my dream. I wish I could do this all the time or do this forever, you know. So for me, the number one thing is being a mom, right?
Yeah. I think you enjoy it, aside from being sick.
Oh, God, I'm so sick. We'll get to that in a minute. I know that it's on here somewhere. Oh, it's actually the next one. What is your least favorite thing so far in your pregnancy? So, I know that y'all have probably seen some of my posts on my Instagram stories, but I've had a hyperemesis pregnancy. So what that means is I don't have the normal morning sickness or even all-day sickness. I didn't even know that this was a thing before I got pregnant. They call it an HG pregnancy, and I was literally dying, like dying. So the first 3.5 months, yeah, 3.5 months, I was on bed rest as well during my pregnancy, but not because doctor's orders. It was because I literally was dying from hyperemesis, which I just thought that people, you know, got sick a few times and they could still work, and, you know, it was just part of pregnancy. So I was one of the unfortunate ones, and I lost a lot of weight. I was literally in starvation mode and dehydrated, had to get IVs. No medication would work. They had me on, we tried, I don't know, it's a mixture of like Unisom and B6. I don't remember the prescription name for it, but that one, Zofran, Phenigrin, which is promethazine, nothing worked whatsoever. So it was literally like death. I mean, I couldn't work, I couldn't get out of bed, I couldn't cook, I couldn't eat food. It was just horrible, and it was horrible for Costa too, because he literally was like not allowed to cook or eat in the house because I could smell it. I literally had to be in a dark room, door closed, away from everyone. My mom had to like literally babysit me or watch me every single day, and if it wasn't for her and living so close to her, then we would have had to hire pretty much a nurse to come in and take care of me, because that's how bad it was. And I just lost so much weight and got so like malnourished and dehydrated that it was, honestly, it was pretty scary. And I was so scared the whole time that it was gonna hurt the baby, and he wasn't getting enough nutrition, and he wasn't growing properly. But he was always growing properly and measuring ahead, and I guess some people just get that, unfortunately, and some don't. But it can be very deadly. It can be deadly for the baby and for the mother. So I'm lucky that I'm getting better now. So now, let's see, that was the first 3.5 months of pregnancy. And then I kind of got to where I was just throwing up a few times a day, but I could still function. So that was nice. I mean, you know, being able to function, I don't care if I'm throwing up or not. It's, to me, I felt like I was, you know, in paradise. And then now I'm to the point where I'm only throwing up like once a week or something, once every few days. It kind of, I've noticed recently the past 2 or 3 times that I've had yogurt, not then, like I won't throw up right after that, but then the next meal that I have, I'll end up getting sick. So I've noticed recently, I don't know if he doesn't like yogurt or what's going on, so I've stopped the yogurt, and I think it's been a few days since I've thrown up, so that is definitely a good thing. But yeah, it's been miserable. So, and also being on bed rest. So right now I'm on strict bed rest because I have incompetent cervix, and I'm funneling, which means like I'm dilating on the inside. So pretty much I can have them at any time. So I'm not supposed to be, you know, up moving around. I can only go to the bathroom. Can't sit straight up and down, because setting straight up and down puts his head, you know, puts pressure on the cervix. So I'll start to dilate and go into labor if that happens. So I have to like lay back and relax, and can't really do much. So that's why I'm stuck in bed and why I'm filming this video here. So with the being sick and then bed rest now, I think total I've been on bed rest for like 4.5 months out of this whole pregnancy. So yeah, if I make it to his due date, it's like, what, 5 or 6 months on bed rest. So yeah, it hasn't been easy. It's been a pretty hard pregnancy. So yeah, that has not been fun. Do I want any more kids? Yes, I would like a lot of kids. I think minimum I want at least 3. Like 3 to 5 would be nice, but now seeing how difficult this pregnancy has been and how I have had a high-risk pregnancy, I guess they would call it, just kind of scares me, kind of knowing what I went through and what could happen with the next pregnancy. So I guess we'll kind of see how the next one goes, but I would definitely say that we're shooting for 3. How many do you want?
I'd say 3 is a good number.
3? Yeah. is a good number, I think. My mom, she had really difficult pregnancies as well. I was born 9.5 weeks premature, and then my brother was 5 weeks premature, I think, and she had already been on bed rest for 5 weeks before that. She, you know, couldn't carry us as well, and from what her doctor told her, I guess your body just knows what you can handle, and we were just getting too big for her body, and Mother Nature knew that it was time for us to come. So she had a hard time, and I was really hoping that I was only going to be sick and have an easy pregnancy after that. I can deal with the sickness, but you know, having other complications now, it's just really hard. So yeah. Will I breastfeed? Yes, I plan on breastfeeding as long as I can. That's the goal, but I know it's not that easy for everyone, but I hope I can breastfeed, so we will see. I hope that he learns how to latch and, you know, feed pretty quick, and I hope that I can produce enough milk, so that's the goal. Are we going to record my labor? Yes.
I don't know. Are we?
Yep. We're going to record everything. We're going to do a vlog. Going to the hospital, labor, delivery, everything will be recorded. So I will be making a YouTube video of that. We plan on bringing our camera and tripods. We're actually going to have multiple cameras. I know that my mom is bringing hers as well. So we'll have multiple cameras, and then I think we're going to hire someone. I don't know if we're going to hire like someone to do video. I know that we'll probably hire a photographer to take pictures, but we do plan on vlogging, so stay tuned for that. Are you nervous about labor? No and yes. I would say the only thing I'm nervous about is him coming too early, and I've told Costa this too, that I'm really worried if he does come early that I'm not going to be able to enjoy my labor, and that I'm going to be crying and freaking out and upset, because obviously I don't want him to come yet and to come early and be premature. So I am scared about that, and I'm scared that it's going to freak me out, and I'm not going to be, you know, in that happy state that you want to be in when you're having, you know, when you're giving birth to your baby, especially your first baby. You want it to be a happy, magical moment. And I'm so worried that I'm going to be like trying to like keep him in there, which I know it doesn't work that way. But other than that, no, I am not scared of labor. I'm just, you know, I'm ready to meet him and for my baby to be here. I just want him to get here safely and preferably as close to his due date as possible. So that's the goal. If I could make it to October, I'll be okay with that. If I can make it to October, I don't think I'm going to be scared, you know, going to the hospital and actually being in labor and giving birth. Okay, so that is it for the questions. Now I just have like some little notes, I guess, like over the weeks that I wrote down on my phone about the baby or what he likes or doesn't like or different like milestones. So these are just some little notes. I couldn't eat meat for the longest time. He does not like chicken. Like before I got pregnant, I would always have like chicken breasts and eat really clean or mostly clean. And chicken breast was something that I did really like, and he does not like chicken whatsoever. The only kind of chicken I can eat is fried chicken, like from Golden Chick or Popeyes, stuff like that. Like he does not want chicken whatsoever. And at first, I think the first meat that I started to eat again was bacon, I think. Is it bacon? Mm-hmm. Yeah, bacon, and then I liked a lot of pork, didn't I?
Yeah, pork chops.
Yeah, pork chops, bacon, sausage, and then steaks, ground beef. But he, I mean, like, the thought of grilled chicken just, like, grosses me out. He he likes really unhealthy food. It's been really hard for me to try to eat healthy. I try to throw in like some vegetables every now and then, but I don't know, he just only wants to eat bad stuff. It's horrible. And I'm not like that. I mean, I've never been a super clean eater, but I try, I guess. Loves tacos. That's his favorite food. We can have tacos all the time. Just had a breakfast taco earlier that Costa made me. And we had Chewy's tacos last night for dinner. So when I say he loves tacos and Mexican food, he really does. That's what we eat all the time. And then again, recently, I've noticed that he does not like yogurt. Okay, so week 5. I know that this is kind of early compared to most people, so I did do IVF, and they know exactly when you're pregnant with IVF. They do what's called beta blood tests, so you have your blood taken, I think it's every couple of days, and pretty much with that, you know exactly when you're pregnant. So I started week 5, and the baby was loving orange juice. I remember that I was craving orange juice with ice. It was like one of my first cravings, I guess. And he loved chocolate milk and hot cocoa. And then week 5, day 3 is whenever I had my first major nauseous morning and started to get sick. And at first, I was already into, like a couple weeks of pregnancy with IVF. And I would tell Costa and my family, like, oh my God, I have no symptoms. Like, something's wrong with the baby. You know, like, I should be having symptoms by now. And I can't believe that I was that person, because now I'm like, oh my God, I wish that was me not having any symptoms and not being nauseous, because literally the day that I said that, the next day is when I started throwing up, and I had to I think that day I did still go to work, but then after that, you know, it got so bad and I got so malnourished, and it was just, I was like on my deathbed. I couldn't leave the bed. It was just horrible. So that was week 5, and then week 5, day 7, I started having brown spotting, which is super scary. You know, in an early pregnancy, I was convinced that I was miscarrying, and I just remember crying and freaking out, telling Costa, you know, like, I haven't had him long enough, like, you know, like, it's too soon, like, I don't want to lose him. I was just so upset, thought that I was miscarrying. So I think we went in that day or the next day for an ultrasound to see what was going on. And it turned out that I had an SCH, is what they call it. So a sub something. Pretty much it's like a hemorrhaging around the baby, like I guess a blood spot. And whenever you walk around or move, it makes more blood come out. So that's what I was seeing, and I was like, you know, told that I need to be put on bed rest. So I think that was like at least a week, and then the blood stopped and everything was fine. So, oh no, sorry, week 5 to week 7 I had spotting. So it was about, yeah, like 2 weeks that I had some blood, and it was super scary, but we were told that, you know, it's normal, it's nothing to worry about. But again, your first pregnancy, your first success ever, you know, seeing a positive or getting a positive and actually being pregnant, and then you've only had the baby for a couple weeks, and it's scary to think that you could already be losing it. So that was pretty scary for me. And by week 8, I started to try bacon, and I was still super sick, and I had tried all those different medications, and then they prescribed me Phenigrin, which is promethazine, and again, didn't work. Week 12, my nausea had started to improve, so even though the nausea was improving, I was still getting sick. But that was nice, you know, once the nausea improved, it was nice, because I hate being nauseous. I'd rather just throw up and get it over with. Being nauseous is the worst thing in the world, so it was nice that it was kind of improving, even though, you know, I may just kind of like run to the bathroom and get sick. It was way better. Week 15, I started to eat more meats again, not chicken, but like steak and ground beef. And then I was throwing up a lot of bile in the morning time, and then I would just have like random bouts of getting sick throughout the day. 16 weeks, which was Mother's Day, that is the first day that I felt any flutters. So I have an anterior placenta, so it's hard for me to feel the baby until, I think usually they say around week 20 is when people can start to feel the baby with an anterior placenta. So I just felt a few little flutters that day. So 16 weeks, 3 days, I found out that I had an anterior placenta and that his heart rate was 153. 18 weeks, I finally started to get a little bump, and that was another thing that was hard for me. I wasn't gaining weight or looking pregnant like most people do. So again, I thought something was wrong, that the baby wasn't growing, that I was doing something wrong, and everyone's body is different, and so I just kind of started to show later in the pregnancy. But I remember 17, 18 weeks, it just like, I just kind of like bloated. I didn't even look pregnant, so that was hard, but finally started to get a bump at 18 weeks. 22 weeks, the baby was moving a whole lot, and I was eating way more, but I was still getting sick, obviously. 25 weeks, July the 12th, Costa finally felt the baby on the outside for the first time. So for a while, I was the only one that could feel, the flutters and the movement, and so that was pretty cool for him to finally, feel a kick. 26 weeks, baby moves all the time, and it's getting hard to sleep. So I think 26 weeks, that's whenever I went out and bought a pregnancy pillow or the boppy. Oh my gosh, cannot sleep without my boppy now. I sleep with the boppy between my legs, and then, because I sleep on my left or right side, I like flop back and forth all through the night. And then I'll also take a little silky pillow behind me and hold it as well. I don't know, I guess it like takes pressure off of 28 weeks, 6 days, which was August the 7th, was the day that I woke up, and pretty much, like, pregnancy, you have a lot of pain and pressure, which is normal, I guess, but the pain and the pressure was getting worse, and I couldn't get comfortable. I woke up, I was like trying to eat some breakfast, I couldn't like sit straight up and down, I couldn't lay on my left side, couldn't lay on my right side, and I just told Costa, something felt different, like the pain was worse, the pressure was worse. So I called my doctor, they wanted me to come in for an ultrasound. It kind of started to improve a little bit, and I was just like, oh, maybe I don't need to go. I'm just gonna go get my toes done with my mom. Maybe everything will be okay. But Costa insisted that no, we need to go figure out what's going on. And we went to the doctor, and we found out that I had incompetent cervix, and let's see, that day, I don't remember what my cervix measured the first day. I want to say it was like 1.5, I think. And so I had incompetent cervix, and I was funneling. And as soon as she did the ultrasound, I could just see it up on the screen. You could just see you could see the baby's head, and then you could just see a big black hole. And I was just like, oh my gosh, is that, at first I thought it was like separation, because like placenta separating or whatever. I was like, what is that? Is that separation? What's going on? And she just had this horrified look on her face, like she didn't want to tell me what was going on. And she was like really quiet, wouldn't answer my question. And then finally she told me, you have incompetent cervix and this is funneling, and I just started crying, and I was super upset. And so then right after we do our ultrasound, we always have an appointment with my doctor. So we talked to him, and pretty much I was put on immediate bed rest and told that, in a couple of hours, once you leave here, I need you to go to labor and delivery at the hospital, and you're going to get a steroid shot tonight and tomorrow. And what the steroid shot is going to do is it's going to improve or mature the baby's lungs faster than they would normally, because baby's lungs are one of the last things to mature when you're pregnant. So pretty much we were just getting prepared for him to come, for me to deliver him within the next couple of days. So that was pretty scary and unexpected. And the scariest thing for me is that now that I think about it, I could have got my toes done and that would have definitely sent me into labor. So I could have either given birth then, or, we had our baby moon coming up. I could have, been out of the country and gave birth somewhere else. Like, that's terrifying. And it's terrifying that it can happen so fast. It's not like, I thought that, maybe my doctor wasn't watching and didn't catch something, but I've talked to a lot of different girls and, done a lot of research. It can literally happen within like a day. I mean, it's just like you could be measuring at like a 3 or a 4 or 5 or whatever, and then go back and you're measuring 1.2, or you have no cervix left. So, pretty freaky. So another thing with early pregnancy, and that I've heard that a boy can cause this, if you're pregnant with a boy, is the double sneeze. I don't know if any of y'all have heard of that. If you have, let me know. But it was the weirdest thing. I remember telling Costa, I've never had a double sneeze before until I got pregnant. And so, obviously I research everything. So I was like, oh, well, maybe I'm pregnant with a boy. And then also, the first week that I was pregnant, I had the most vivid dreams ever, which I've always been a really wild dreamer. I have super weird dreams, but these are very strange. Very strange dreams. Okay, and I guess that is about it. I do plan on doing an IVF question and answer video sometime this week. I do have a lot of people that send me messages about that, so I know that it's something that I should film. So I will do that, but I just wanted to get this video up, and I'm trying to do more pregnancy related stuff on my channel because I've just been so sick the whole time and I'm on bed rest, and it hasn't gone as planned. I planned on filming more and doing more stuff like that during the pregnancy, but it's just been a little hard. But I do plan on doing more stuff, so if you do want to see any other videos, I don't know, pregnancy related or anything you can think of, just comment down below or send me a message. And until then, I will see you next time.
Wait, what did you just say that?